Journalism students at King's College in Halifax have won top prize in this year's Canadian Online Publishing Awards. It's for their story, Kwe Eskasoni, about going out on the land and learning from Mi'kmaq elders. Associate Professor Trina Roach designed the course the story is based on. Of course, Trina was a longtime reporter for APTN News. We spoke with her earlier. Trina, awesome to have you with us. You designed the Mi'kmaq course described in the story. What exactly is it, and what was the reason for creating it in the first place?
Yeah, the Reporting in Mi'kmaq course, we always develop this story sort of based on a theme, and then do multiple stories under that theme. And so last year, a lot of talks with the community. Like, I might have an idea, but the course is intended to work with community to say, hey, what are the stories you want to be told, and who should we talk to? And so a lot of conversations and conservation kind of emerged as a really good theme. There was a lot of important work around Indigenous protected conservation areas in Unama'ki, in Cape Breton. And so a lot of work leading up to the course, and then the students just knocked it out of the park in terms of just talking to people and talking to elders and talking to people involved in communities. And we went on this hike to Glooscap's caves. It was just this really incredible experience, an emotional experience. And then they just did a really great job in reporting. So the award was just a wonderful recognition of the students' work, but also the work happening, the important work happening in community in Eskasoni that Mi'kmaq are doing.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it there, but what does the award mean for yourself and your students?
I think, there's four sort of key principles that underlie the course that we try to get across to students. And it's like respect, responsibility, relationships, and reciprocity. And so those kind of inform, how we approach best practices in Indigenous reporting. So we're talking about that. And I think the award sort of recognizes that those best practices work, right? So the students, I found that the students, because they knew that we were taking the stories back to community, because they had developed relationships and had really approach the stories with respect, they just did such a good job. They took so much care. So I think it's a recognition of the work and the students' work, but it's also a recognition of those core sort of principles that we're really trying to get across to students on how best to report on Indigenous stories.
Aside from obviously the prestige that comes with the award, Trina, what are you hoping is the long-term purpose of the course, and how journalists will report on Mi'kmaq issues?
The journalism schools, the TRC in 2015 issued those calls to action, and some of them in particular focused on journalism programs and making sure that journalism students in Canada are graduating with a basic understanding of Indigenous societies, history, treaty relationships, Crown relations, legacy of residential school, all of those really important things, because that hasn't been happening. And just now you see journalism schools answering that call to action, and King's is one of them. And this course is a really key way that we can take these young journalism students into community to learn firsthand. You learn by doing, so they're doing stories, and really putting that call to action into practice, right? Making it real and tangible, and something that the community can also be proud of, that Mi'kmaq people can say, yeah, like those were great stories, and we feel like we benefited from that. So I think it's one small piece in the puzzle of how journalism schools have to answer that call to action. But I think that it's a really important step in the right direction.
Well, Professor Roach, congrats to you and the students, and I'm sure it's going to have an impact out into the future. Thanks for talking with us about it, Trina.
Well, Alan Dennis, thank you.